Hello, Carolina Bob from Charlotte, North Carolina in my uptown studio apartment, and it's very humble and very small. You can see that I cleaned off my couch to take a nap, and I moved the pile over to, hard for me to do this, over to the other side over there. So my biggest problem right now, believe me, I got a bag and went through and threw all kinds of stuff in the garbage. That I've been, really this room I've had to condense what I have in it simply because a lot of this was in an apartment. So, and I got this couch and love seat, and it's really nice, but I really didn't need it in here. But if I ever move out, it's nice to have it. Now, 60 years old, look what I bought myself off of eBay. It's a spinner 2 with a mini Kangaroo tank and atomizer. Guys, I'll tell you what. About 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I'm not sure, right when e-cigs started to come on the market, a couple of friends were talking to me. They said, Bob, you need to get off them cigarettes, man. I said, I know. And I was already having some problems. I had some pneumonia, bronchitis, lung infection, even to the point that I woke up one night and I kind of felt this gurgling in my throat, and I started coughing, and I turned the light on. It was blood. I was coughing up blood. Boy, I want to tell you, that scared the hell out of me. Did I quit smoking? For about a couple of weeks. Antibiotics kicked it out, went right back to smoking cigarettes again. They told me about e-cigarettes, which is basically a little coil, a little bit of cotton, and some drops that they put on there themselves. It's sealed, and they put little drops on there. Well, after a point of smoking it, it dries out, and you throw it in the garbage and pick up and smoke another one. There was very little vape that came out. I hated it. You know, you get used to, I mean, you blow out a good amount of smoke from a cigarette. You smoke an e-cig, it was like, and it would be this tiny little bit coming out. Let me see if I can show you. That was about it. That would be what came out of the e-cigs. It was frustrating, and you had to really breathe it in deep, way deep. I mean, this thing, I kind of throat hit down around my upper chest. I never go all the way down just to get the nicotine effect. Okay, so what happened to me was, as I started going on YouTube, I checked out, I subscribed to about 3 or 4 professional vape people, and I was amazed at the technology and how much this has grown over the years. I came across it really watching people. I'll be on the light rail. I don't drive a car as of the moment, but I ride city transit, and I ride the light rail, back and forth where I work. And I'll see people in there, and they got one of the little mods, the little mod pods. I call them pods. Anyway, little square, and they got the little atomizer and then the tank. And I see them, they'll be sitting there on the bus, and I'll go. And they always have it tucked down like this, looking around. I'm like, what a damn shame. But it's true. If they weren't careful and they have a camera up there and they see them doing it, they can be arrested. Or not necessarily arrested. I'm sorry, that's going a little bit too far. But they'll be written a ticket for $50. $50. I'm like, God, give me a break for a freaking... I will admit, the first time I saw an e-cig was in a bar also. Double Door bar, about Double Door Inn, right down the street, Central Piedmont. Love the bar. I had to quit going. I ain't going there. I don't know why I did. I saw them in there. They were smoking an e-cig, and I really got upset. I remember Mike, the bartender over there. And I said, Mike. He said, what? And I said, man, he's smoking a cigarette in here. You're not supposed to do that. He goes, no, Bob, that's a vape. I said, a what? What is a vape? And the guy showed me what he was doing. That's my first introduction to an e-cig. And then, as I told you later on, I bought one from a convenience store and tried it. So to this day, if I go into a bar, I hate to say this, but it's really the truth. If I go into a bar like uptown Charlotte, and I'm in there and I'm sitting at the bar and I'm going, if I'm doing that, I guarantee you they'll ask me to get out of the bar. You know, and I gotta admit that vaping now has gotten so close to looking like cigarette smoke that I think it freaks people out. Now, some of the other things that they do you'll find here on YouTube, and believe me, I have no desire to do this. I'm 60 years old, man. This is like 20ish, people in their 20s and early 30s. But what they do is they have cloud championships. What they do is, man, they got like an 8-ohm coil that they've handmade with cotton. And I mean, that sucker, when you blow it, it'll blow a cloud like you've never seen. I mean, huge cloud of vape. And of course, they don't inhale it. That's not the point. They're just trying to get enough, and they go, and yeah, I'm like, for what? That's a toy. You know, it's the same thing that I used to do with my stereo back in my day, and also with cars. And some people do it with their little scoot cars now, little 4-cylinders. And now, vaping is the in cool thing to do. Okay, now PG, same component found in antifreeze. Sure it is. Now I'm not going to deny that. Also, a lot of people don't know they put their money in a vending machine and they're eating it. Guess what? It has PG in it. A lot of people are unaware of just how much PG is in particular things that we do every day. It depends on how it is chemically derived of what it's used for is a thing, which PG and VG in this is relatively safe. I will not say it's 100% safe, and most vape companies will not say that either. We really don't know the long effects of it, but I'll tell you it's a lot better than smoking a cigarette, and that's why people are starting to get on it. Plus, you don't stink. It's not nasty. Man, I used to smoke. That's what got to me after a while. It's just the nastiness of it. Looking in an ashtray and the smell and the stench. And, I mean, it got to the point, and I'm divorced and single now, and I'd be around a woman, and a woman would just back up away from me. One lady just told me straight up, she said, no offense, but you stink horribly. And I'm like, phew. And, you know, going back to my vape, nicotine, I'm doing it at 3 milligrams now. I'm going to get up to 6, and I may go as high as 8. I'm doing it primarily for my ADD. I do have some pretty severe ADD. I multitask, never get things done. I have to be careful about where I move things. If I move something, I don't know where it's at. I have to be very careful with that. I get very upset, and did when I was married. My wife would move something. It pissed me off. I'd go, why did you move it? Move what? What I'm looking for. Well, Bob, I mean, I just put it up. Where'd you put it? I get freaking out, man. Where'd you put it up at? She go, calm down. She goes, it's right over there. And I actually grabbed it and put it down the exact same place. Now, is that what do they call it, compulsive disorder or obsessive compulsive? Not necessarily. I didn't do it where everything was in a line. I just had to have it where I'd set it down so I know where it was at. And that's one of the worst things an ADD person goes through all the time. They're always looking for something. I've learned little tricks. Nicotine and vaping is God's gift to mankind. God's gift to mankind. I love it. Now, if you've never vaped or thinking about vaping, there are tons of vape videos. I call them the professionals. They're the ones that are getting everybody sending them vapes. And I mean, there's one guy, man, he shows how to do coils. Another guy shows how you get the best atomizer, and I mean, I went on some of these sites, and I mean, these things go. I saw one that was like $250, and I was like, what the hell? This right here, $13.99, and the oil. You can see, well, you can't see the oil in there, but the oil lasts. I call it oil. Everybody freaks out. E-juice, PG and VJ is an oil form. You can feel it. Some people get freaked out because they think that the oil gets in your lungs and causes some problems there. I don't know. I'm 60 years old. It don't bother me all that much anymore. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I feel like I'm talking in circles. Thought I would talk about my vape pen. You know, being 60, that's my present to myself. And they have e-pipes. Really cool e-pipes. I'm going to probably get that down the road. But I mean, I like that because I've always enjoyed pipes. The problem is you get tongue burn, you know, your lips right here. It's very hot. It gets very hot in your hand. You have to set it down and let it cool. It's a pain in the butt. And then you got to clean out the thing all the time. And, you know, vaping is what I consider the future. My daughter is 23, going to be 23 years old. That's right. And I'll tell you about my daughter. Her generation, I still see out sucking down cigarettes. But I also see a lot of them now are converting over to vaping. Vaping's becoming the in thing. I think you're going to find after a period of time, more and more bars will start to allow people to come in and vape. The only problem with that that I have with that is there are people out there that like to blow real big clouds, and I think that gets kind of annoying when you're in a bar, I think. But anyway, back to vaping. I don't see, you know, my daughter has a child that generation, and I think the generation after that, tobacco will be gone. You won't see tobacco anymore. It'll be history. It's getting to the point now that most of these people out here, I see where I live, smoking cigarettes are near my age, you know, very near my age. I don't see that, you know, really where I live here we have a few kids, but most of us are 55 and above. And, you know, I'll watch them out there sucking on their cigarettes. This one lady, man, black lady, she'll be sitting there. And I felt like going in there and tapping her on the shoulder and saying, ma'am, do you not see the fact that that cigarette's killing you? You know, I'm sitting there looking at her. But I've been tobacco free as of the 24th, and will never go back to tobacco. It's nasty, horrible, it stinks, it's awful. Vaping is the next best thing, and tobacco companies, you better start figuring out how to convert over to this. FDA is going to get their hands in it. Taxes. It's going to get to the point that the e-juice that I can buy now about around $7 to $8 for 30 milliliters. You know, I can buy that for about $8. When the FDA gets into it, state legislation, taxation, that same $8 is going to be like $16 for a little bottle. Let me show you this for a minute. $16 for a little bottle of e-juice. And all that's going to be nothing but taxes like they did on cigarettes. Anytime the government wants to get involved or get into something like that, believe me, it's not all about us and safety. If it had been, they never would have even bothered to tax tobacco. But yet, hey, it's a great revenue, especially for the state of North Carolina and Virginia. So my point is that I know after a period of time the government's going to really screw this all up, as they do a lot of things. But for the time being, I'm going to keep right on vaping. So appreciate you listening. Carolina Bob says out.